Here's something nobody tells you about champions. You can spot them long before the trophies arrive. A 20-year-old walks into a room full of Grand Slam champions and former world number 2s. She's wearing wine red, a traditional Austrian, dirndl, hand-stitched, culturally loaded, the kind of outfit that could easily make someone feel out of place. And she walks in like she owns the building. That's Alex Eala at the Linz Open Players Party, and if you think this is just a pretty moment with nice photos, stay with me. Because what happened that night tells you everything about who this young woman actually is. The Linz Open is turning 35 this year, and the tournament went all in on the celebration. They partnered with a local Austrian brand to dress the players in authentic regional dirndls, not costumes, not tourist props, real handcrafted attire with bodices, blouses, and aprons that carry genuine cultural meaning. And the players showed up for it. Paula Badosa was there, Mira Andreeva was there, defending champion Ekaterina Alexandrova was there. Local favorites Julia Grabher and Sinja Kraus were there. And right in the middle of all of them stood Alex Eala, in wine red, looking completely at home. Now Admira went light blue, Badosa went black, Alex went red, bold, loud, impossible to scroll past. That choice isn't random. It's a window into how she moves through the world. She doesn't watch what everyone else does and quietly fall in line. She sees the moment. She reads it and she commits. Hard. That pattern runs through everything she does, on and off the court. But before we talk tennis, we need to talk about the egg and spoon race. Yes, that happened. Yes, it absolutely matters. As part of the Easter-themed anniversary festivities, the tournament organized a lighthearted race, the kind of thing where most players shuffle along laughing and fall over on purpose for the camera. Alex did not get that memo. She competed like the egg was a championship point. She and Sinja Kraus crossed the finish line first. And look, I know that sounds absurd, but hear me out. The greatest competitors in sports history don't come with an off switch. The same relentless drive that pushes a player through 6-hour training sessions and 3-set battles from match point down. That fire doesn't disappear just because the stakes are low. Roger Federer was legendarily unhinged in casual practice games. He could not let someone else win. Alex winning a silly party race at a tournament celebration tells you her wiring is exactly the same. She wants it every single time, even when it doesn't matter. And that instinct? That's not a footnote. That's the whole story. Now zoom out for a second, because this party appearance is bigger than the fun moments and the great photos. Alex is ranked world number 46. She's 20 years old. She's still in the chapter of her career where she's proving herself, building her name, earning her seat at the table alongside players who've been at this for years. And here she is, sharing a room, sharing a laugh, sharing a dirndl moment with a former world number 2, with one of the most electric young players on the planet, and being spoken about by the tournament director in language most players never hear aimed at them. That tournament director, Sandra Reichel, called Alex unbelievable. She said it's great for the Philippines, for the tennis fans there, to have such an extraordinary player representing them. And then she went further and said something that stopped me cold. She described Alex as one of the players who will own the future of this tour. Tournament directors don't just say that. These are people who have watched hundreds of careers come and go through their event. When someone with that much exposure tells you a 20-year-old is going to own the future of women's tennis, you don't brush past it. You listen. And Reichel kept going, talking about how meaningful it is to welcome rising stars in a landmark year like this one, and specifically naming Alex as someone the tournament is genuinely proud to have. That's not press conference, filler. That's a person who's seen the arc of Alex's career and knows exactly where it leads. Let's talk about that arc, because it's easy to look at where she is now and forget what it took to get here. Not that long ago, Alex was deep in the ITF circuit, grinding through small tournaments with small prize money, chasing ranking points, fighting just to get into WTA-level draws. Most tennis fans have no idea that world exists. The early morning warm-ups in half-empty facilities, the constant travel on a tight budget, the grinding uncertainty of not knowing if the results will come before the money runs out. She lived in that world. She pushed through it. And now she's standing in a room full of Grand Slam champions as an equal, being praised by event directors, being photographed alongside the biggest names in the sport. That's not luck. That's years of ruthless, relentless work finally showing its face. There's also a cultural dimension to what happened in Linz that deserves a proper moment. Alex didn't show up, tolerate the outfit for a quick photo, and disengage. She was all in. She embraced the tradition, leaned into the local experience, and brought genuine warmth to the entire event. That matters more than most people outside professional tennis realize. Tournaments remember. They remember which players are easy to work with, which ones respect the event's culture, which ones make the experience better for everyone in the building. Those players get favorable scheduling. They get wild cards into future editions. They get genuine institutional support. Building those quiet, unglamorous relationships across events is one of the most underrated forms of career management in the sport. And Alex is doing it brilliantly. And then there's the human side of it. Tennis is a brutally isolated life. You travel constantly, you compete against the same people week after week, and your social world compresses down to your coaching team and whoever you happen to be close to on tour. Laughing through a party, game, posing for photos in matching traditional dress, sharing a genuine moment with Badosa and Andreeva, that's how real friendships in this sport are made. Alex leaving Linz with stronger connections to those players isn't a small thing. Those connections become practice partners, travel companions, sources of support in a career that demands enormous emotional resilience over the long haul. Now, the court. Because the party was lovely and the dirndl was stunning, but Alex came to Linz to play tennis, and the draw is not being kind to her. Her opening match is against Julia Graber, an Austrian playing at home, on home courts in front of a home crowd that will be completely behind her from the first point. Graber knows these conditions cold. She'll play loose, fearless, and fueled by the energy of the building. For Alex, that's a genuine test. Handling a hostile crowd, staying in your game instead of reacting to the emotion in the arena, that's hard. Even for veterans, even for players with far more experience than a 20-year-old from the Philippines. But here's the other side of that coin. If Alex goes out there and handles Graber convincingly, she doesn't just advance. She sends a message to every player left in the bracket. I'm here, I'm focused, and I'm not intimidated by any of this. And the bracket beyond Graber is brutal in the best possible way. There's Jelena Ostapenko, a former French Open champion, with one of the most devastating ball-striking games in women's tennis. There's Ann Lee, an American with the kind of all-court game that makes her dangerous against anyone. And sitting at the very top of the section is Mira Andreeva, the top seed, one of the most gifted players of her generation. The same young woman who was laughing alongside Alex at the party just days before the first match. If Alex wants to win this tournament, and the tournament director made clear that a first WTA title is a real and genuine goal, she's going to have to beat players of that caliber. Not once, multiple times, back-to-back, under pressure, in front of crowds that won't always be on her side. That's what separates good players from great ones. One big win is a result. 5 or 6 of them in a row across a single week is a statement. And the prize, if she does it, is massive. A WTA 500 title doesn't just look great on a resume, it reshapes your entire season. Suddenly you're in main draws without needing wild cards. Suddenly your seedings shift, your scheduling improves, and the infrastructure of the tour starts treating you the way it treats players who've proven themselves at the highest level. Beyond the logistics, there's the psychological shift. The deep internal knowledge that you can do this. That when the moment is biggest and the pressure is highest, you are the one who doesn't crack. There's a version of Alex who leaves Linz. Having proved that version is different. More dangerous. Harder to break. And then there's the piece I keep coming back to. The part that sits underneath all of it. Alex isn't just playing for herself. The Philippines doesn't have a long history of producing elite professional tennis players. When Sandra Reichel says it's great for the Philippines and for the fans there, to have someone like Alex, she's touching on something that runs deeper than tennis. There are kids in Manila right now watching Alex walk into that party in wine red, watching her win a silly egg and spoon race with a full competitor's heart, watching her stand beside former Grand Slam champions without flinching, and thinking, for the very first time, that this is something they could reach for too. That's an extraordinary thing to be. It's a gift and a weight at the same time, and Alex carries it with a grace that's genuinely remarkable for a 20-year-old. She isn't just building a tennis career, she's building a story that belongs to an entire nation. So here's where I land when I pull the whole picture together. The dirndl, the party, the egg and spoon race, the tournament director's words, the brutal draw, the ranking, the representation. Every piece connects. This is a young woman who has earned her place in rooms that once felt completely out of reach, who carries herself with the settled confidence of someone who knows exactly who she is and exactly where she's going, who shows up fully for every moment of this journey, whether it's a Grand Slam center court or a lighthearted party game, and who does all of it while carrying the weight and the pride of an entire country on her back. Alex Eala is not a promise anymore. She walked into the Linz Open players' party looking like she belonged, because she does. The only question left is how far this goes. And honestly, I'm not sure even she knows the answer to that yet. But I cannot wait to watch her find out. If you're following Alex through Linz this week, drop a comment. Do you think she takes home her first WTA title? And if you want to stay across everything happening in women's tennis right now, make sure you're subscribed. We are watching this one very closely.